I'm Doug Massi, and today I'll be doing a side-by-side comparison of Final Expense Tele-sales versus Final Expense face-to-face sales, including the type of leads and lead costs for both, return on investment, which is very important, guys, because it's completely different from the two, and we're going to hit on a lot more. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it and start with the type of leads that are used for face-to-face sales versus telephone sales. And yes, now is a great time to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. And if you stick around till the end of this video, check this out. I'm going to show you how to get a copy of the thank you letter that I mail to everybody that I sell, and the policy summary, which you'll want to leave with everyone you sell. Now, here's the thing. The policy summary is perfect for writing down like the monthly draft payment and draft date so that the client actually has something in writing from you reminding them, about what you just did for them. As far as leads are concerned, direct mail leads are usually the best lead you can get your hands on for face-to-face sales. Let me just say, in most markets, no, I do not ever recommend using direct mail for Final Expense Tele-sales because this lead is just way too expensive for selling insurance over the phone. The telesales and the direct mailer, they really don't work well together. Here's my suggestion. If you're selling face-to-face, you most likely want to work direct mail leads along with like some Google ad or Facebook ad leads mixed in. Some agents can, in some markets, I should say, can get away with only using the cheaper internet leads. If you're brand new, you should just work the internet leads, the cheapest leads you can get your hands on, maybe for at least your first month or so. Most agents that sell Final Expense face-to-face actually quit after just a few weeks or so. And that's why I would rather find out that I hate a business while learning it with a lower lead cost than finding out that I hate the business. Meanwhile, I've already got a bunch of expensive direct mail leads on the way, and I'm locked in. I have to buy them no matter what. And that's what can potentially happen, if you decide you don't want to be here. For telesales, if you can figure out a way to get your hands on 15 to 20 live transfers per day, then that usually works out pretty good. As long as you're not paying more than like $10 or $12 for those transfers. And that's the key. To me, the thing with the live transfers is, one, to make sure that you're actually getting legal TCPA compliant transfers, and two, to have enough of them. Most companies can only get you like a handful per day at the most, and to me that's just nowhere near enough to make a living. To be clear, TV commercial leads are the very best for Final Expense telephone sales. However, they are super expensive and, in my opinion, no longer worth the price. The value is just not there. Oh, and if you're an independent agent, like you probably are watching this video, like most of us are, you're not going to be able to get your hands on them anyways. Right now, the best lead an independent insurance agent can get for Final Expense telephone sales would be the self-generated Facebook calendar ad lead. Guys, the future is now. All the big producers and I want to say more serious insurance agents are learning how to use Facebook ads and funnels to generate their own appointments and, leads. We've got telephone agents using this system that are literally running 20 to 30 preset appointments per day at a lead cost of right around $5 each. And let me just throw this out there. The companies that sell these Facebook funnel ad systems, the setups, are charging between $5,000 and $10,000. Meanwhile, we're doing it for our agents at like a fraction of the cost. Really sweet. The return on investment is totally different with telesales than it is with face-to-face sales too. A face-to-face agent can spend $1,000 on direct mail leads and only double, and that's what their objective is, to double or potentially triple their investment, on that regular basis, like every week. Meanwhile, a telesales agent can take that same $1,000 and turn it into like $4,000 to over $5,000 per week. And that's running their own Facebook funnel ads again. This is why telesales is so big right now compared to like selling Final Expense on a belly-to-belly basis. The the old-fashioned way. Now let's talk about the difference in activities and even some of the cost differences between face-to-face and telesales. Most of the top producing face-to-face final expense agents have to drive like at least 2 or 3 hours to the areas where they are going to be working. You know, if that's why they're top producers. They don't mind doing what it takes. When I was selling face-to-face, I had an appointment setter that I had to pay. I put like 30,000 miles on my car every single year, and I got used to staying a few nights each month, at least, in some pretty crappy hotels. So with face-to-face sales, you're doing a lot of driving, you're paying more for your leads, and if you're an actual producer, you're using an assistant / appointment setter. I mean, you have to be. And not only that, with face-to-face sales, you're door knocking leads, pushing your way into the prospect's house, and you know, that's normal, right? Doing everything you can to get in as many presentations as possible every single day. If you make a mistake, you're gonna have to drive back for like additional signatures or maybe an amendment when needed. So yeah, potentially a little back and forth, usually a lot of back and forth. It's normal, you get used to it. You know, it just isn't super convenient. You know, if the client lives like 3 hours away from you and you aren't supposed to be going back to that area for like a few weeks at least. For telesales, you just need a good computer setup. Maybe, you know, I recommend like having 2 monitors or even 3. And of course you have to invest money into your leads, you know, into your setup. Instead of the windshield time and traveling, you have to spend that time on the phone. That's the only way it's gonna work. So you're calling your appointments and chasing your leads in between the preset appointments. And if you're smart, you're like leaving messages and even texting the clients when you can't reach them or when they no-show, you know, the calendar appointments that they set. And that's the way our system works. Most of these clients, or I should say about 1/3 to half of these clients, will actually set an appointment on your calendar. When you do the math, it makes a lot more sense to do telesales, if that's your personality, of course, than to do face-to-face sales. Or I would say maybe even to consider switching from face-to-face to telesales. Thing is, some people are just not able to sit in an office and be on the phone 5 days a week. I mean, you got to do that like 8 or 9 hours per day. Look, I know that's definitely, you know, who I am. I mean, I'm not able to do something like that. However, COVID did change the way that we think and behave, so there's that too. And look, personally, I feel a lot better knowing that if I had to sell again to make a living selling insurance, that I could always just turn on a system where the clients are presetting their own appointments to speak with me throughout the day. If I wanted to write $30,000 in premium every single month, it's good to know that I can actually do that. And believe it or not, guys, you can do that too. And with telesales, you close your sale, send the client a thank you note with maybe like a brochure from the carrier that you sold them, and you put the client's information into your CRM. I will say whether you're selling face-to-face or maybe over the phone, the CRM is super, super important. It gives you the ability to like stay in contact with your clients and be able to send out automated like emails, you know, automated like text messages, and even automated voicemail drops. So now you check in with your clients automatically to see if they need more insurance or if they have any questions about what they already have. And you can even let them know that, hey, you know, you are actually able to help them save money or maybe get money back with the right Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage plan. The thing is, guys, when you stay in contact with your client throughout the years, they really, really appreciate it. They do. And this is how you get them to actually stay on the books a lot longer than if you just disappear. You know, and potentially they will end up with like multiple insurance products that you sold them. One last thing, even, you know, whether you're selling face-to-face or over the phone, when you're generating your own leads, you're not depending on someone else to buy leads from. Think about that. You're running the show. Even with face-to-face, if you're buying direct mail, at least you're able to generate your own high-intent Facebook leads on your own on top of the direct mail. And this means paying less for leads that convert and more sales. That really is the bottom line, right? For a copy of the thank you note and policy summary that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For information on selling final expense and or Medicare insurance as a completely independent insurance agent, which means you're going to get higher commissions and you're going to get me as your mentor. Just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there or get on that phone and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.